Hey, it's Bill, and you're tuned into the Pennsylvania Rock Show, providing you with the best unsigned rock and metal that Pennsylvania has to offer, right here on PARockShow.com, MegaRockRadio.net, 107.1 FM, St. Louis, Missouri, AltRockRadio.ca, Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, RooterooRadio.com, on the beaches of San Diego, California. Let's see, xrpradio.co.uk in Birmingham, United Kingdom. And who am I forgetting? BuildTheScene.com, clearly my radio station. I feel like I'm still forgetting somebody.
That's excellent.
Every week. Anyway,
you don't get phone calls in, do you? Like you forgot us.
No. This is episode number 570. With me tonight is Steve Hawk. What's up, Steve?
How are you doing, Bill?
I'm doing good. I do have to go off script already.
There goes our plans.
That's right. So someone told me tonight that I was more important than him. Do you know who?
Someone told you that you are more important than him.
Yep. Someone that you have spoken to today.
I'm guessing probably, is it a musician?
No, but you're on the right track.
Probably Andy Jubick.
No.
No? Andy Jubick's always talking to all these people that I know. You don't know him probably, but if you're in our scene, he just kind of sneaks his way in. And he's been my roadie for probably about 3 or 4 years now. And he's always messaging everybody behind the scenes. And I'll be like, they'll reach out to me and they'll be like, hey, I talked to Andy today. I was like, Andy who? Oh, but what? You talked to Jubick? I didn't know you knew him. Okay, let's see here. Not a musician.
Nope, you talked to him in person. Now you think I'm stalking you.
Yeah, I didn't know you were that good at hide and seek. I give up. Who?
Craig Ferry.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, Craig. I just saw him about an hour ago. I should have known. He said he was going to message you.
He said I tried to get him to play acoustic or play at an open mic at an open mic tonight. He said, but he told me that he had to go talk to you. So apparently you're more important than me.
So just this one time, Craig. Just this one time.
So thanks for proving that point.
No problem. Well, yeah, I mix a lot of shows with a lot of fun and and it's nice that the radio and podcast interviews are starting to come in as well. It's really exciting. And I had to prioritize. I love playing open mics, and there's nothing better than like playing a place like that, stepping up on stage. People don't know who you are, and then like by the time you're done, they're like, "Okay, we need to know this guy." It's so much fun.
So where were you guys hanging out at? I didn't even get a chance to ask him.
We were at Bella Terra in Hunker, Pennsylvania. Brad Abbott, I think you've had him on the show.
I have.
He and I are we're playing a small show. I don't know how small or large it's going to be. The bar is small. It's a place in Youngwood, Pennsylvania. On Friday, we're playing at Delaney's Pub. And I figured that since Brad and I are doing this on Friday, I'd go and support his open mic tonight and see what was going on. I was hoping to maybe get in early and play a song or two and then come join you, but it just didn't work out.
I drive through that area daily. I teach in Bell Vernon, so coming down 70 right past all of those places. Yep.
I'm trying to get officially sponsored by IC Light, but right now I'm unofficially sponsored. So I'm gonna be drinking it.
All right, so we're gonna start right off. You recently re-released Forgotten Nobody's album, Missing Screws. What brought that about? Other than it being 15 years, what made you decide to do that?
Well, I quite honestly, I wanted to do it 5 years ago for the 10th anniversary. 15 is kind of a weird number to have, a commemoration of. But honestly, when my band put the CD together, I sold all my copies, and the copies that I saved for myself either got lost, traded, destroyed in my car. You know, I'm very hard on CDs, or at least I was. I mainly stick to Spotify now. But over the years, it was just such a poignant album in my life, and it was such good rock and roll. I mean, if I do say so myself, that's kind of a, you know, a pompous thing to say, and I'm not a pompous person, but I knew that it got us a lot of favor on Pittsburgh radio back in like mid 2000s. Butler radio, we were huge on MySpace, and when we fizzled out, it was just, number one, a big surprise to me because I thought we were going somewhere. But number two, it was something that it was such a good disc, such a good album, and such a major part of my life that when I went digital with my first professional album, my only acoustic album, Steve Hawk, The Demons in My Heart's Home, I had it in the back burner that I was going to re-release this album, mainly just so that I could always have it. That was kind of a selfish thing for me. I didn't really promote it largely because it was an old album. I'm not really playing full band now, and I didn't want people to get the idea that that's where I was going artistically. I just want, if people want to listen to it, I play a lot of the songs still live, but I'm only acoustic. So I wanted people to get a feeling of, you know, and I've talked it up so much. Like I'm in this band, I was in this band, we were really good, but I didn't have anything to show for it other than just my word of mouth. So I wanted to put something out there that people could actually listen to and say, oh yeah, you know, I could kind of see the progression of Steve, and, you know, I can kind of see where he came from. And there were still a lot of very important, meaningful songs on that album too. And that's one reason why I still play a lot of those live. So quite honestly, I just wanted to make sure that it was always out there, so that maybe someday if I had kids or something, or, you know, whatever life came my way, I could just say, hey, this is me, or if I'm not playing anymore, this was me. And, you know, just kind of leave my legacy somewhere, you know.
Sorry, I was doing a little research while you were talking. I was listening, but
No, that's fine. I thought I'd put you to sleep. I was like, well, there goes the interview.
No. I was here writing down.
Ah, nice.
Can you see what I wrote up there?
Sort of. It's a little blurry, and I don't want my face to get so huge.
Well, I ran out of room, so it only says glutton for punishment.
Maybe I'll sing it that way this weekend. Yeah, Glutton for Punishment was off of The Demons in My Heart's Home.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do, usually in the break, in between the questions, I play 2 tracks. So I think I'm going to play Tommy's Not Coming Home off of the Forgotten Nobody track or album.
5. And
then I'm going to play Glutton for Punishment from some guy named Steve as well.
He's a loser. Big loser. No, that's become a huge crowd favorite. I remember when I first wrote it, I was just living in I was in a college fraternity at the time, and I talk about that all the time. That's old news to my good friends and fans. But I played that one all around the house, and people really dug into that one. They dug their claws into that pretty good. And so I played it with Forgotten Nobody, but we never recorded it. So whenever The Demons in My Heart's Home was being recorded, that was one that I had to land on there. And at the shows, it's turning out to be such a big hit to my friends and fans who really know my music. They sing along. They you know, they dance. They fall onto their knees at the poignant punchline at the end. One friend in particular, I'll never forget that. That was a good time. But they have different reactions to the song. And that's one that I'm really glad I put on there, because that's one when I play it live, it's a better live song than it is a recorded song, just because of the emotion, the energy. But it is a fan favorite, and I'm glad that people are latching onto that because it's a fun one to play.
Well, we're learning a little bit about your history. Let's go back a little further. Can you tell me about the day that you realized that you were going to be a musician?
It's really funny. I was just having this conversation with somebody at work the other day. It was a young kid, and he was talking about going to school. And I told him about, just like you're a teacher. I said, it's funny how I'm in this place right now because I never thought I'd be here. I went to school to be a teacher, but the only reason I'm not is I didn't pursue it far enough. And I always, when I was, it goes in stages. When I was a kid picking up the guitar for the first time, I think I was like 14, and I was playing my brother's guitar, and I've talked about that in countless interviews. I would play on the front stairs of my porch as if I was already famous, and I had maybe 2 songs and none of them were mine, and I'd play for my friends, and they had to be rolling their eyes because they were the same damn songs over and over again. And I was always in like county choruses, and I was always in high school musicals, well, not musicals, but chorus, and I was always in front of people. But I remember being in high school, going to see bands and being like, man, I wonder what that's like. And I remember just the little rush I got from being on stage for like chorus concerts, but I didn't feel like myself because it was other people's music, and it wasn't necessarily what I wanted to do. I wanted to rock. I wanted to be a rock and roller. I wanted to play rock and roll and play it like the music that I had grown up listening to in the background, not singing for scholastics. You know what I mean? I mean, my mom took me all over the place as a kid. I was in choruses through churches. I was in choruses through Westmoreland County Kids Chorus back in like the late 80s, I think, early 90s. I don't know the date. I was just a kid, but I always wanted to be in front. Like I said, it was a stage. It happened in stages. I latched on to certain bands. My friends know it, like Social Distortion. I talk about them all the time. They were really the first band that I totally idolized and latched onto. Not just listened to the music and idolized the music, but idolized the stage show and watched to see what people were doing on stage. And it was a growth thing. When I was in college, I played my acoustic for my friends. I'd play late at night at parties, and I would play Social Distortion songs, and they'd all think it was my music, and I just kind of rolled with it because I figured, if you guys don't know this music, I'm not going to tell you. If you want to believe it's me, that's awesome too, because these are awesome songs. And so it was around that time period that I kind of started building a repertoire of my own. And oh man, the first show I ever played was in my hometown in 1999. It was this place called the Broadway Bistro in downtown Scottsdale. It is now Carson's Tavern. And I was supposed to play a show there a couple weeks ago, and it got canceled because of lack of staffing. And I wanted to return there and play there again after 21 years. That was 1999. And there was something in me that wanted to do it then. And I never listened to those little negative voices in the back of my head. Even people, my certain friends, certain family, when I released The Demons in My Heart's Home, he's going to hate that I said this, but my brother was just like, I was really excited because I grew up and I listened to music because of him. And I said, we were sitting down at actually Carson's Catering, and we were having like a family dinner. And I said to him, I was like, hey, I released an album. He's like, yeah, I listened to it. It's really sad, man. And that's what he said. And I was just like, whoa. I sat there really pissed off the rest of the dinner because like I idolized my brother and his music, and his music choices, and he helped me to learn guitar when I was younger. And for him to say that was such a blow. But then fast forward to 2019 when I was getting a lot of really good shows, he and his wife came out, and there were really good bands on stage, newer bands, nothing super famous or top notch, just local guys like me, I should say. I shouldn't say something like that. But he walked out of there and he's like, dude, he said that you were the best one on stage. You had the best music, you had the best stage presence, and we really enjoyed you. And I was just like, I guess I grew up a little bit, But I guess I never really answered your question. It's just been kind of a stage thing. I really wanted to do. And progression, absolutely. It's more or less, I want to do it every time there's somebody in the crowd cheering me on, singing music, enjoying my music. I don't even care about me, just enjoying my music. And so that builds me up a little bit more every time. I'm like, okay, you guys are going to get some more because you enjoy it so much.
What's been the coolest moment that you've had because of music?
That's a really cool question. Oh man, I opened up for John Corabi of Motley Crue fame, and Mike Tramp of White Lion at Craft House in 2019. That was the first time I really opened up for a national act. I opened up with my band for Rusted Root at the Hard Rock Cafe, and at least that was 2007. And Duncan Sheik, you remember that dude? I'm barely breathing. He was like playing outside on the street, and we were just like making jokes. We're getting Duncan Sheiked, you know. Like, someone's sending me a message, so hold on a second. I don't know what's going on here. Sorry, my phone is very active all the time. But that was a cool moment. It was nice to actually open up for a national act. That's how I kind of felt like I was doing something. I was supposed to open up for Michael Graves of the Misfits throughout the pandemic season. I'm going to call it a season.
So you're leading right into my next question. It's great. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. And it got postponed, and it got postponed because people kept, bars kept closing their doors, restrictions kept changing. And he helped his song Saturday Night with the Misfits, along with some Johnny Cash, like Cocaine Blues, things like that. They helped to write one of my most poignant songs right now to my fans, Heartsick in the Basement. And so I had things planned. I was going to contact him and say, hey, can I sing Saturday Night with you? Hey, would you mind singing Heartsick in the Basement with me? And then he came out to be a Proud Boy on social media. And at a very, very bad time for someone in the spotlight to do something like that. Whether you believe they're this or that, that was just a really stupid thing to do. And so I remember I was at work, and I started getting these random messages from females that I don't know. They're these weird, and I thought, how on Facebook, like the Russian brides are trying to get with, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, hey, would you like me? I like me. How about come into my, my chat? And I'm like, no, I don't. But instead, they're like, please do not play this show with Michael Graves. He's a chauvinist. He's this and he's that. He's a Proud Boy. And I'm sitting there holding a package because I work for UPS. I'm like, what the hell's a Proud Boy? That was the first time I had heard that. I was like, what is this? I was like, a Proud Boy. I was like, what's happening? And I didn't know what was going on. Well, so that came out. All the social media came out. That show got canceled, and therefore I never got to play Saturday Night with Michael Graves or vice versa. Which that's fine. With everything going on, I didn't need my name attached with all of that. I like to be in the middle and very non-political. So
with things finally starting to open back up, what venues can you not wait to play again?
Well, I'd like to get back up into Pittsburgh again. I was actually talking to a guy from Baltimore tonight. His name was Brendan. He was at the open mic. He was playing with his band. What were they called? I've got his sticker, and I really apologize to him. But he knew some guys that I knew from Baltimore, and we just got to chatting, and he was talking about how they played the Smiling Moose. I love the Smiling Moose. I've played there before with some other bands. And I'd like to get back to the Hard Rock Cafe again. It's been several years since I've been there. Club Cafe, I haven't done. No, sorry. I played Club Cafe once since I've done my solo thing. But that one's kind of hard to get into just because some of these places, the way that I believe Opus One Productions runs that, you kind of have to be, on the in with them. And I don't think they know me very well. And I'm hoping that changes. I'd like to get back into Club Cafe again, Hard Rock Cafe. I love playing the Hard Rock Cafe, not mainly just because of the name, but I love looking up there and there's that angel staring down at you while you're on stage, the huge angel, and it's so awesome. I sometimes drift away while I'm playing that show and just kind of stare at that sculpture, So those, I guess, would be some ones. But in the meantime, I told myself, when I was with the band, that I would play for anybody, anywhere. And that's why I'm playing small clubs. That's why I'm playing Delaney's Pub. They're just kind of getting back on their feet again. They're very small floor space wise, and it's probably going to be freaking packed. And I hope so anyway. And even if it's not, I'll play for them because some of my work friends reached out and said, we would love to. That's our bar. We're there all the time and we'd like to see you, and we don't really go anywhere else. So I was like, okay, I'll bring the show to you because that's what I want to do. My old bandmates were against playing like vets clubs, private clubs. I wasn't, because you need people to hear you. You're nothing without the people that come to the shows, support you, wear your shirts, buy your stickers, things like that. So, you know, I ramble.
So let's take a moment and we'll both do a little product insertion here, but not the beer. What do you have?
I was reaching.
What do you have behind your shoulder there on the doors?
Which way? This way?
Yep, that way.
This is Nick. Are you familiar with the band Adelaide and Autumn?
I've heard of them.
You should hear them more often, Bill. They're an excellent band, and I used to, when I was first starting out with them, we had a lot of shows together, and they have a really cool sound. Good friends of mine, but the pandemic kind of stopped them. A couple of the guys got married, so life kind of takes over, and they kind of slowed their gigging a little bit. But they're a band you absolutely have to listen to, Adelaide and Autumn. Well, anyway, the lead singer of Adelaide and Autumn, his name is Nick Nagel, and we were actually playing at the Hard Rock Cafe, and I was kind of idolizing his CD art. And I said, who did you have do this? He said, well, I do this myself. And I said, would you mind doodling a logo for me? And he did. What I did was I gave him the bird in the center. Obviously, it's a hawk. And then he did the rest with the feathers, the circle, made it look spray painted on, like someone just walked up to my shirt with a stencil and sprayed it. And when he brought it back to me, I was like, that is what I want, man. It's a little punk rock, but it's a little what I've put into it. The hawk in the center of the logo is how I started signing my paintings. I was an art major in college, and towards the end of that, I started signing my paintings with an S, the hawk's head, and an H on the other side. So I guess it's very similar to that hat. But in return, I did a lot of live streaming during the pandemic. Every Sunday night, I did a live stream. Some friends from Seattle listened in, people on the West Coast, East Coast. And I never had a name for this mannequin underneath. And we had a joke even in one live stream that I made a joke about booby tassels. So they sent me booby tassels, and I put them on this mannequin. Well, I was at a show. We were doing a benefit concert promoting a compilation album. Adelaide and Autumn was on it. So I gave Nick a shirt, and I said, you know what, dude? Since you made my logo, I'm going to let you name my mannequin. And he was just like, well, how about Nick? I was like, all right. So this is Nick, ladies and gentlemen. He's in all my live streams. He's got a personality of his own. He holds my merch for me, and he doesn't ever complain. So that's a T-shirt. You can find these at all the shows. I only have black right now, but if you join my Rock Out with Your Hawk Out fan page, we are going to be doing promos for fans only. Nothing on my music page, nothing at shows. I've actually got a Rock Out with Your Hawk Out T-shirt being sold right now for all my first come fans. I've got about maybe 480 on the site now, and 60 people are buying shirts. But I figured it was one cool thing to do is like you see somebody else with a shirt that only a fan of that club would have, and you don't know them. That's a good icebreaker for you to go up and bond over the music. And I couldn't have, I think it's going to be pretty awesome.
All right, so my turn real quick. Chris Thunderwolf Dotson is in the chat portion on Facebook right now. He owns Wolf's Customs. What he and his wife Raven do is they put custom finishes on instruments. They do a thing called Hollow Flash, which is this like shiny, almost rainbow-like reflective. I do a terrible job explaining it.
No, I kind of get it.
So, like, imagine taking oil and putting it in water.
Mm-hmm.
How, like, you can see the rainbow.
Yeah,
but
right.
instead of the water being clear, it's silver, and then it has that rainbow effect. It's really cool.
Oh, that sounds pretty well.
So they do that, and then Raven does custom painting on instruments as well. And you can find them at wolfscustoms.online if you want to check them out.
I will check them out because I thought about different things to put on my guitar as well.
And he somewhere, I wish I realized where it went. I had some guitar picks that he put the hollow flash effect on, and I had them sitting here on the deck. Oh wait, I found them. My wife moved them. I don't know how well it'll come through, but we'll try.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's wolfscustoms.online. And they are one of 9 sponsors of the Build the Scene radio station.
Cool.
But they usually pop in and listen, so they get a shout out during the video.
No doubt. Well, that's a smart thing to do. But yeah, I'll be trying to get a hold of them because I've got some ideas for my blue guitar. I'd like to get some things on that.
And I actually came in contact with Chris through the Ludini Rock and Roll Circus, which is another Pittsburgh-based podcast. It's Lou Lombardi, so you want to check them out too.
Okay, cool.
All right, so where am I at here? Oh, here we go. So let's say that you end up getting on an international tour, and you get to choose 2 or 3 other bands from our scene to go with you. And I know that's kind of limiting, but what 2 or 3 bands or artists would you take along with you?
From my scene?
From your scene, yep.
Okay. I would definitely take my friends Fubar. Jake Hirsch from Fubar designs my merch. He's my merch guy, and we were very good friends. And they have the talent. They have the ability to go national on their own.
I have a Fubar hat sitting right over there.
Yeah, I was actually wearing my Fubar hat out to open mic night tonight. I'd take Fubar. I'm a good friend of, I remember things, and I remember people that did favors for me. I'd probably take Brad Abbott along because I wouldn't have been able to do any shows this year because I don't have my personal sound system, and a lot of bars and breweries, they don't have their own sound system. So he's really taken one for the team and been a really good companion and an ally in the scene for me. Like I said, Adelaide and Autumn, I'd take them along because they need to be heard. They're really talented. I'd love to take them all along. I can't say one is better than the other. They're just different. And I mainly would, if I were to ever go national, I would do it for favors. I would take people along that have helped lift me up along the way. And, my bud Ed Kelso, who helped me get started again, I don't know if his band, it's his old band, Highway Louie, that's his newer band. I don't know if they're still playing. I don't know if the pandemic knocked them out or down for the count, but he was a big influencer in getting me started again. So I'd probably take Highway Louie along too. But
I have some Highway Louie's music. Maybe we'll play some tonight.
Yeah, cool.
So time-wise, we're kind of pushing.
I talk too much. I'm sorry.
So I'm probably gonna cut a few questions. But I do want to mention Charlie is in the chat as well. And he runs a website called I believe it's Autistic and Adult, and oh man, I'm gonna mess that up. I'm sorry, Charlie, but he's putting on a show with Band Together Pittsburgh. And if you're not familiar with Band Together Pittsburgh, they are a group that uses music to help people that are autistic, as like the musicians are autistic that are playing on this.
Okay. Well, that's really cool.
And it's activeandautistic.com is his website. And then
Good Dave.
he put it in the chat.
Here, you listen here, you a-hole.
And Charlie himself is autistic, so it's something that he's doing is trying to put together events that people who are autistic or have other disabilities can go out and enjoy themselves at. And on July 16th, he's putting on a show called Metal Joins Autism. It's at the Subalpine in Turtle Creek. And I don't have it in front of me, but it's all metal bands. And you can find out more information on that by if you go to Build a Scene's Facebook page. It's listed as an event, and probably in 2 weeks or so, First Angel Media will have an article about it. I know this because I'm writing it. So I did want to mention to check out that show on the 16th. The proceeds benefit the band together Pittsburgh, which is John Vento and Moondog, to throw out some scene names that people would know.
I played Moondogs.
Yeah, those two people.
Cool that is a really cool bar. I'd like to get back there again too.
All right, so let's see.
Well, what day is the 16th?
You have
a calendar there? Because I'm interested in going if I'm not playing a show.
Let's see, July 16th.
That's a Friday, isn't it? I think I'm available.
It is a Friday.
Okay. Anyway, I didn't mean to distract you again.
All right, so I'm going to cut the 6th question. What I want you to do is tell me a little bit about Tommy's Not Coming Home.
All right. When I gave that song to you today, I more or less just wanted a good rockin' song. It's got a great bass intro, 3 or 4 part vocals. Most of them are me because I grew up harmonizing. So whenever we laid the tracks down, most of the vocals are myself harmonizing with myself. But I got Troy, my old bass player, in on 1 or 2 tracks as well. The story behind that is dark, actually. It's one of my darkest stories. I was suicidal at one point in time. I didn't talk about it because I'm very positive. I've always been a very positive person. I've tried to be to other people because other people have problems. I try not to have them. And, but you're human and you sometimes get these things. It wasn't like something that I thought of all the time. It wasn't like anything that I took too far. But I knew it was something that if I didn't nip it in the bud, I would probably end up taking it to a very deep and dark place. I was probably 20 years old at the time when I wrote Tommy's Not Coming Home. And the gist of it is I got to thinking one day, I don't know what took my mind. I really got myself out of a very bad place, but somehow I talked myself out of it because I thought, what if I actually did it and my friends had to tell my mom? And I thought, how's my mom going to feel? How's my, my dad too. My parents are still together. They're wonderful people. And so I took all of those feelings, those dark, deep feelings, and I wrote the song as if I was Tommy in the song, and like I am Tommy in the song, and I got outside of my body and described a story of my friends telling my mom that Tommy's not coming home. And that's pretty much the gist, and that song single-handedly saved my life. Like I said, I don't know how far I was going to take those horrible thoughts. I don't know if it's just someone with creativity or art in their body, in their blood, but you hear about all this crap all the time, like artists killing themselves, artists ODing, artists being depressed. But you know what? It's not just artists. I have a lot of friends who have these emotional issues as well, and some still do. And I never really had horrible things happen to me as a child. But for some reason, that that happened. The really horrible thing about that song, and this is just a really brief story. I was doing my student teaching. I think it was in Minerva, Ohio. Minerva, I believe, was the school district, and they caught gist of the fact I was doing art. I was doing my student teaching in art, but I would sometimes bring in the guitar and play music for the kids while they painted and drew. And the music teacher called me in and said, "Hey, I hear your music. I love your music. I want you to come play some songs." Well, me thinking like these kids want to hear a rockin' song. I played Tommy's Not Coming Home, and this girl gets up running out of the room crying. Yeah. And it turns out that her boyfriend, this was a big deal before I had come into the school, her boyfriend had committed suicide, and he was a real popular kid. And I'm thinking to myself, after making that faux pas, I mean, nobody made it as if I did anything horrible, because I didn't know, but I felt horrible because I had no idea, what I had done to this girl emotionally. And, but that's something that I'll never forget. I don't want to go into too much detail, but there was a child in my neighborhood named Tommy who he didn't commit suicide, but I think he OD'd. And I'm, like I said, out of respect for the family and because they're still my neighbors, I'm not going to talk about that. But I had kids his age when I first moved home. They're like, "Is this song about him?" I was like, "Oh, no. I will tell you about it someday. I'll talk about it, but that is not him at all. I wouldn't put that out there. But it's about me. It's about what could have been me if the song and whatever was deep inside of my gut took over and talked me out of it. And that's a really weird thing, because usually you can't talk yourself out of something like that. But that's why I think music is so powerful. I wrote this song. I dwelled on this song, and instead of putting these harsh and dark feelings into continuing dark feelings into this hole, I was able to put it onto paper and music. And every time I hear that song, I just, it's a keeper,
We at First Angel Media, we have a section on the website called Saved by the Scene, which is about mental health and how music and the music scene have saved musicians. So I don't know when the next one will come out, but I will mention to John to reach out to you.
Cool.
So
cool.
All right. So
I will tell that story a million times if it's going to save some people.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a moment. We're going to listen to Tommy's Not Coming Home by Forgotten Nobody. Then we're going to also listen to Glutton for Punishment by some guy named Steve. And we're not actually going to listen to that now because Facebook would mute the video, but I don't have to dub it in later.
Awesome.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask a couple of these questions that I had ready, not all of them. Because we're already at 40 minutes. The show's only an hour, and I have to fit music in too.
Fair enough.
All right, so I'm going to come back as if we heard the songs.
Sure.
All right, that was Glutton for Punishment by Steve Hawk, who is hanging out with me tonight. Right before that, you heard Tommy's Not Coming Home by Forgotten Nobody, which is also Steve Hawk singing. And were you playing guitar on that?
Yes. Yes, I was lead guitarist. Lead guitar. Well, I shouldn't say lead because I was never really good at lead, but yes, I played rhythm guitar on that and vocals. And like I mentioned earlier in the interview, I did about 3 or 4 part vocal on certain parts of that song, and most of those voices were me hitting different octaves and harmonizing with the lead.
All right, so this next question is becoming the official Pennsylvania Rock Show question. And it's who's your Dave Grohl, which means what band would you want to go up on stage with and play one of their originals?
Social Distortion, hands down. Hands down. Mike Ness is such a boss. If you ever see him live, he just commands a stage. He commands a stadium, a small room. I saw him in 2001 for the first time. Club M. It used to be the Metropole. And it was right after the Twin Towers fell. And I was right up front because I had to be. I idolized this guy. I just watched him in media. I watched him, and that was, before there was real YouTube or anything like that. But every time I bought a punk video and he was in it, I was just like, man, this dude. And, it was just one of those things that when I was a kid, I gravitated towards punk music and rock and roll. And like I said, he was just such a boss. The way he dressed, the way he like commanded his guitar and just commanded an audience. I was just like, I want to be that someday too. And I don't know how I'd feel because like I said, I can't play lead, and he's a really good lead guitarist. I'm not going to say he's the best lead guitarist out there. But he's really good with what music he produces and promotes. And but yeah, that would be a lot of fun to be up on stage with him.
What is something you wish you could do to help further the music scene?
That's a really good question. I just want to be a part of what gets noticed, not mainly for myself, but so that I can always push other people up as well. I'm the kind of person, I played Helltown Brewing in Mount Pleasant, which I don't think you're much of a drinker. You're a teacher,
No.
so you can't be. But they've got delicious beer, delicious beverages. I promote them all the time because they give me a really good place to play where like I'm heard by like 200 people almost every time I play there. And I let this new group called Just Those Guys come in and play a show, and they loved them. And that's just who I am. If I know somebody has talent, if I know they need to be heard and I have the outlet and the stage to do it for them, I'm going to bring them along. So I guess what I want to do is I want to just, there's that adage where like, what would you do if, when you rise above others? I'm the guy that wants to reach down and pull other people up with me. They're my friends. They're talented. The scene needs to pop. Whatever part of the scene people think I belong to, I don't know. But that's what I would do. I want to be the guy that helps other people get heard, even if they get more fame than me. That's just how it is.
Hey, so I have hopefully quick answer questions here. These are
Yes,
two off the wall questions. You decide you're going to do another album, but it needs a full band. What band is going to back you? And here's the caveat: it has to be a disco band.
See, that's the thing, Bill. I don't know too many disco bands, but I'd say whoever backs Dua Lipa, because she put out that disco album. That was pretty. I'm not a mainstream music guy. People know that of me. I always complain about it, but I'd have to say whoever backed her because it was pretty tight.
Okay. Last question before we throw out where everybody can find you. You're a professional baseball player, and you need a walk-up song. What song are you going to walk to the batter's box with?
Oh, dude, She Sells Sanctuary by The Cult. That's a bitchin' song, man. The lead, my brother got to see them play live, and that's all I'm going to say. And I was so jealous. That their lead guitar work is phenomenal. Always emotional.
All right, last two questions, also easy ones. Where can people find you online, and where can they get a hold of that Forgotten Nobodies album and the Steve Hawk solo album?
Very simple. It's all over. You can find me online. We'll start with that. You can find me online, mainly Facebook. I am going to develop
do this
or build the scene.
No. You're
on.
on. Yep, right there says yours. Build the scene's on my side.
Okay. That was me. But nonetheless, yeah, you can find me at facebook.com/Steve Hawk Music. I do see it now. Thank you, Bill. And you can. I'm going to try and develop a real legit website. I figured I'd do it once I got more albums out, more merch out. I want to do an online merch store. But right now, you can find, like I said, find these hats, shirts. I'm going to start doing all sorts of different things. Stickers, picks. I've got guitar picks, things like that. But you can also find the album anywhere you download your music, whether it's iTunes, Amazon Prime. I use Spotify, but please support the artists. Don't just try to get music for free. Most of us don't have physical copies that we're selling at shows. So please, when you download the music, try to buy the album too. It does help us out a little bit.
And lastly, what's up next?
Lots of fun stuff. A lot of local things. I'm playing my hometown a lot this year. I think that was just one of those things that when the clouds lifted, I just reached out to what was the nearest things. Like I said, when's this going to air? Is this going to air Friday?
Yep.
So today I'm going to be playing at Delaney's Pub with Brad Abbott music, and we'll be playing 8 to midnight. That's in Youngwood, Pennsylvania. Then the following weekend, I'll be at my hometown for Scottdale Summer Concert Series. I'll be playing in the center.
Is that the gazebo?
That is the gazebo. If you've ever come into the Fall Festival, that's where a lot of the bands play. So funny thing is, that'll be the first time I've actually played a legit show on that gazebo, even though I've played the festival several times. July, I'm pretty packed. I'm playing Sobel's Brewery in Jeanette. I'm playing Taddy Bogle's. If you enjoy hard cider, Taddy Bogle's in Acme. I'll be playing there on the 17th. I'm playing some private parties as well throughout I know I've missed a couple places, but my summer is almost booked. Just go to my webpage, go to the fan page, Rock Out with Your Hawk Out, Steve Hawk fans. Ask to join. You'll get my contact right away. I'll be the one probably accepting you in. And then if you like this interview, this podcast, or want to know anything else, come find me, talk to me. I do a lot of things. I'm promoting nightly on that page. So that's where you'll find out a lot about my upcoming shows.
So I'm going to throw this in here, but I'll be cutting it later. But on June 12th, Jonna from First Angel Media and myself will be on XRP Radio, which is xrpradio.co.uk. I believe starting at 3 p.m. and it's going to be the second time that we go on there live. And what we're doing is we're taking music from my playlist and we're trying to force them to find a song in their playlist that they think is better. And it's tough. Like,
yeah,
that'd
be a lot of fun.
They have a much more sizable archive than I do. But I will say that when we pulled out Skell, which is a local metal band, they had to pull their number one song off their chart to compete with it.
Huh.
So
nice.
we have a lot of fun with it. So that's June 12th, 3 p.m. Eastern time. It's xrpradio.co.uk. And if you click on the little chat link on the left-hand side, you'll be able to talk to us while it's going on too.
I'll take a listen. That'll be before my show down at the gazebo. I'll be playing 6 to 8 that night, so I'll listen in at 3.
We will be done. We were not done by that time. The first time that we did it, we went in kind of blindly and said, "Okay, we're going to do this." I took like 20 songs. We played 13 of them. We went an hour and a half over their time slot.
Which can happen. You know, you listen to me talk. I'm a freaking chatterbox, man.
Well, see, what happened was like Jonna and I were telling stories about the bands while they were trying to figure out what band to play. And then they had to tell a story about the band. And, you know, it took a while. It was fun, though. Fun enough that we're actually going to do it the second Saturday of every month from now on.
Well, that's excellent. That's excellent.
So we're taking the Pennsylvania and tri-state area music to the UK airwaves, and you know, we had a whole bunch of people come follow us from this area that were involved, and it was cool that people in the chat box were making suggestions saying, "Hey, you should play this song against that one."
Yeah, that's awesome. That's fun stuff, and that's music interaction. That's the finest. The fans get to talk. The fans get to interact with what you guys have to say. And it probably makes you realize that, wait a second, it would make much, I don't know, don't take this the wrong way, much more famous DJs, that would probably put them down a peg because they probably don't know as much as what they think they do. You know what I mean?
The other thing that was cool that happened was every time we played a metal song, they had to go pick a band from Scandinavia to combat.
That's an excellent idea. I really like that. That's one.
But so at the beginning of the show, I mentioned a bunch of web streaming radio stations. XRP is one of them. What will happen here at the end of this show is you'll hear John American Hill, Jack Lane tell you how to subscribe and to come back to listen. But what he doesn't say is to make sure if you're listening to one of those stations that you stay on that station and listen to more unsigned rock and metal and other genres. And if you're on megarockradio.net, you're going to get a mix of signed bands and unsigned bands, but hang out there too. Mega Rock Radio has been supporting me pretty much since day one. And that's the 107.1 FM in St. Louis, same station. So make sure you hang out and listen to the music on those stations. If you're at XRP Radio, you can actually, right on their website, go and purchase tracks that you hear that you like. Any bands that would like to add their music to that vast collection, all you have to do is go, you sign up, create an album, upload your song, and the only money that is taken is the money that goes to credit card processor. Everything else goes directly to you. So
it's awesome.
Hey, so Steve, I do want to thank you for hanging out with me tonight.
Thank you, Bill. It's been a lot of fun. Can I say one thing before we leave?
Absolutely.
Hey guys, rock out with your hawk out. I've always wanted to say that in an interview. Bill, thank you very much, man.
You're welcome. I want to thank those of you that are hanging out and chat with us as well. Chris Thunderwolf Dotson, check him out at, yeah, completely blank there. wolfscustoms.online. I want to thank Charlie also from activeandautistic.com. Make sure you check out his show July 16th at Subalpine in Turtle Creek, which benefits the Band Together Pittsburgh. And someone else was in there. I don't remember who. It scrolled.
Yeah. Did you mention the autistic musician? Was that the last one you mentioned?
That was the last one I mentioned.
The Wolf Customs.
Wolf's Customs.
Yeah, I guess I'm a bad secretary for you, Bill.
There were more people watching, but those two were the vocal ones. Yep, just those two were vocal. Anyway, this has been episode number 570 of the Pennsylvania Rock Show. Check us out each and every week. Friday is the release date. We also do 3 questions and a song, which is on the 1st and 15th of the month. And on the second Saturday of each of the month, you can check us out at xrpradio.co.uk on the, I think we're calling it the Build the Scene First Angel Media XRP Radio battle or something like that. I don't think we really have a great name for it yet. We'll work on it. My name is Bill. We'll catch you next week.